Hello everyone. It's been about 2 years since I worked on a Packard Bell system. Actually, almost to the day, weirdly enough. And no, I didn't plan that. Well, that's entirely too long, so we've got a fine example here. Very much of the mid-90s, and looks all original, so should be interesting. So let's get into it. A Packard Bell PB 4220 CD to be exact. And I've done a few of these systems by now. But gotta say, I don't know this plastic to be susceptible to yellowing. This one is just a little bit yellowed. Note the contrast at the floppy drive and the Pentium badge, though the CD drive is similarly yellowed. And I recognize that. That's a CR563B made by Matsushita, which means I'm pretty sure it's original to this system. And that Pentium badge has taken a little bit of a beating, but luckily there are reproductions of these. It's just a Geek and Spiel order away. Well, I gotta say, I don't come across very many systems with a personal asset tag on them. It's got their name, address, and phone number on it. It looks like the type of thing you would put as a return address on an envelope, like one of those stickers. Yes, so that's interesting. And I see the QA seal has been broken for us, hopefully for good reasons. And here's all of our I/O. See, this is in the pre-USB era, but well within the setting your modem's COM port by dip switch era. That's pretty funny to see. Curious about that sound card though. Looks kind of basic, but Packard Bell was known for putting pretty interesting ones in there. At least all the ones I've discovered so far have been pretty interesting. So I guess it's time to find out. Let's get this thing open. Alright, got that de-screwed now. These just slide back. And they like to get hung up on absolutely everything. There we go. Alright, this system looks complete. I see hard drive, CPU, RAM, all that good stuff. And that CD-ROM is a CR563B, manufactured December 1994. So that fits with being OEM, at least timeline-wise. And it's not even IDE. It connects directly to the sound card. I didn't think this machine was of that era. And this system's pretty decently clean. It's just the lightest smattering of dust. Now let's go through the peripheral cards. See, there's a modem there, being very modem-like, but it's blocking our access to the sound card, so let's get it out of there. And OEM confirmed, with real OPL sound. See, Packard Bell did take care of us. Let's get it disconnected and get a closer look. Alright, Packard Bell hid the chipset type, but I'm pretty sure this is an Aztec card, because that's what these things usually end up being. Yeah, the AZ is kind of telling. But hey, at least it has real OPL sound. And there's our video brains, with the VRAM expansion tragically missing, but at least it's expandable. And I don't see any immediate trouble out of these surface mount caps. Sometimes those leak and destroy boards, but these seem okay. Now let's find out exactly which Pentium we're working with. Assuming I can get this heatsink off. That thermal paste looks pretty fierce. I'm actually surprised they used thermal paste at all. Those people just skipped it in the ceramic top era. Wow, it's really stuck on there. I don't know if that's gonna come off easily. Looks more like thermal cement. I'm only going to try very gently because I don't want to damage anything. Just see if it wants to come off at all. And it does not. That's way too much pressure, way more than I'm comfortable with. Well, let's at least check the pins. Alright, SX835, so that's an early one. I think that would make it a gold top Pentium, 60 megahertz I think. I'm pretty sure this has the FDiv bug. And the pins look pinny. And there's a sticker on the heatsink. Pentium processor WW51. Guess that was Packard Bell's doing. Alright, let's just get this back in there. And vanquish that little dust bunny. And we'll just get the clip back on. Alright, let's clear out the cable jambalaya. I'm loving how clean this thing is. I'm normally filthy by now. Get out of there. Alright, good news is, no leaky batteries. But the bad-ish news is, got a Dallas RTC there, and it's soldered to the board. But you know what? There's a new hack for those that I've been meaning to try, so I'm actually not mad about that at all. Alright, let's get this drive cage out of here. That's just these 2 screws and the third one on the side. And then the whole thing slides out. Ooh, guess that's not magnetized. Or not magnetized enough. Hey, what are you hanging up on? They're usually pretty easy. Oh, there's the dust. That can wait though. We gotta get the riser out of here. And that lives beneath this brace. Oh, this thing's got PCI. So that's handy. And they certainly were generous with the onboard RAM on this motherboard. It's a total of 8 megabytes. Very generous indeed. Well, let's see what's on the RAM sticks. Alright, that looks like a 4 meg module. Made by Lite-On. The next one looks identical. Yep, indeed. Alright, so we've got at least Windows 95 level amount of RAM. Okay, let's get this front panel disconnected so we can get this motherboard out of here. Let's see, what is that, the fan? Interesting place to power the fan. Okay, I don't think we have to mess with these port studs. This should just be a screwy operation. Oh, that one's loose. That always seems to happen on Packard Bells. Well, it wasn't loose, but it wasn't exactly tight either. And that should be it. Oh, gotta lift up on it a little. It's like stuck on the standoffs. There we go. And there's the target. Now, if you're not familiar with these, the Dallas RTC modules contain an internal battery, and with that date code reading 1994, it is very likely very dead. Now, there's a few things you can do about that. First one being drilling 2 holes to access the battery terminals, and then soldering on a new battery holder. But there was a more recent discovery by the legendary Necroware. It was discovered that you can actually de-encapsulate these just by heating them up and then chiseling the resin away. And I've been wanting to try that, so that's what we're gonna do. But first we have to get this off the board. Okay, first I'm gonna try this the hard way. Let's get some flux on there. This is before I give up and resort to the desoldering alloy, which I probably will. Let's see what the pump alone can do. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. Nah, desoldering alloy it is. Yeah, this alloy has a lower melting temperature, and it dilutes the existing lead-free solder, thus making it easier to melt. And then sometimes that's enough. If you just gently pull on the module from the other side of the board while heating. There we go. Now we'll just clean up after ourselves. And I'll clean up the flux when we're done. Alright, first thing I need to do is get all the old solder off the pins. Alright, now I'm just going to hit it with hot air. Necroware says 80 degrees Celsius should do it, which is not very hot at all. And first we have to remove the outer plastic jacket before we can start chiseling away at the resin. So let's get that started. Yeah, I guess I'll just use a flat plate screwdriver. Seems like an appropriate tool. And that's off. Now I guess just gently pick apart the resin. Ah, here we go. And the mysteries of the RTC module have been revealed at last. So yeah, it's just a regular 24-pin dip chip with a battery and a crystal soldered to it. Look at that. They just bent the relevant pins upward and soldered whatever component to them. Now, I'm not sure what these pins are for. They're just bent up for no reason. Haven't looked at the pinout, but I can probably just get rid of these. because all I'm going to do with this is replace that battery. I'm going to leave that crystal right where it is. And it looks like I can just desolder that battery. Yeah, that's just solder. It's not pinch welded or anything. Alright, that should be ready to come off now. And there we go. Who would have ever thought the batteries that caused all that grief over the years were that easy to get to? That really wasn't very hard at all. It only took me about 10 minutes of heating, chiseling, poking. You just have to be kind of careful around these crystal legs because they're very thin. I just used one of these picks. It's just a regular pick from one of those cheapazoid dollar store pick sets. You just got to get in between all the pins while you're heating, and that resin just comes right out. It's pretty remarkable. Alright, now I don't need these 2 pins, so I'm just gonna try to bend them back, though they're very likely to break. That's fine because I don't need them. Okay, no, that actually worked. Though in this case, it's pointless to keep them because this motherboard doesn't even have holes for these pins. But I'll be nice and leave it complete. Alright, now I got to attach a replacement battery to this. I'm just going to use our standard CR2032 socket holder. Not the most ideal size, but hey, it's what I have on hand. And we got plenty of clearance on the motherboard, so this will work just fine. Alright, here's what I got going on. Nothing groundbreaking, just got some copper wire soldered to the bottom of the battery holder. And those are bent such that they'll contact the pins without contacting the crystal. This is a little bit fiddly. And I'll just solder those down and then secure everything with hot glue. It should be fine. And there it is, all done. So I've just gone ahead and encapsulated that crystal again. So I had a brief breath of fresh air, but no more. And yeah, this is all solid, so it's ready to go back in. And since there's no way I'm soldering this unholy abomination back to the motherboard, or any RTC module for that matter, I've gone ahead and added a socket, and I just removed the pins for which there were no motherboard holes. So let's get this in there. And it fits perfectly. Fantastic. Huge thanks to Necroware for this amazing discovery. I don't know why that channel doesn't have 1 million subscribers. Everybody go subscribe to Necroware, if you haven't already. Now moving on to the drives, starting with the hard drive, a Seagate Medalist 2132, and no explicit date code, at least that I can decipher, but the fact that they're boasting about these specs tells me it's probably original, definitely mid-90s, and these have something interesting on the back, or the underside. It's the C-Shield. I guess that's their name for this plate, which helps protect your drive from electrostatic damage and makes installation easier. Wow, so innovative. And the CHS parameters add up to 2.1 gigabytes. I love the way they give you full instructions on how to do everything, even down to the DOS commands. Yeah, you just don't get that kind of service nowadays. And yeah, I just gotta zoom in on that C-Shield guy. That artwork needs to be appreciated by the masses. And floppy drive removal is mildly interesting on these things. You just remove these 2 screws. I'm losing my magnetization on this. And after that, it just slides back, lifts off. It has these shoulder screws under here, which actually, I need to take those out in order to get this apart. And here's make and model, a Mitsumi D359T5, and that does track as an OEM drive for Packard Bell. But it's interesting that they went with Matsushita for the CD-ROM drive. Sad Mitsumi noises. Okay, let's get this thing apart. And that starts by detaching the lower section. It's one of the more tedious drives to get apart, but it seems to have a nice unstuck spindle. Now I gotta remove the top. And it finds everything to get stuck on, doesn't it? Every little thing. But that is one remarkably clean drive, though the very thin amount of grease is kind of concerning. But now we don't have much in the way of dust, just a little bit up here in the front. And we'll go over the heads anyway. And no surprise, super clean. Let's refresh the grease. And yeah, they were pretty stingy on the grease there. Let's clean off what little remains. And we'll get some fresh on there. Now we'll do a disc mech check. And it feels brand new. Very good. Okay, now I gotta remove this faceplate for a couple of reasons. And I wanted to show how to do that because it's not exactly obvious. First, you have to remove its chinny chin, this gray piece here. And it's held on with clips on either side. You gotta get under there and pry, just ever so gently. There's one on that side and one on this side. And it comes off just like that. And that reveals several screws, which are also loose. Didn't anybody at Packard Bell know how to tighten screws? Yeah, all three of them. All right, now this is ready to just pull off. I needed to do that to liberate this power switch and to also de-dustify. And here's a slightly safer alternative to chinny chin removal. You can get something ultra thin like a safety pin. Find where that tab is and push it in. You can get it to pop out, and that just reduces the risk of breaking them. Which I've never had one break, but you know, these things are getting older and older and plastic's getting more and more brittle. So I figured I'd show that. And this middle tab is just a locator, and I guess keeps the middle from flexing out. All right, let's interrogate that power supply. Looks for all the world original. And it's just a regular old AT power supply. Nothing particularly special, unless of course it has quality components inside, which we'll take a look at. Speaking of which, caution, dangerous voltages. Do not remove this cover. Trained surface people only. No serviceable components inside. Yeah, I beg to differ. And yeah, if it's not clear here, it's dangerous to work on these, blah, blah, blah. Take proper precautions, don't kill yourself, all that good stuff. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a warranty to void. I do love being the first person to void these. The deed is done. Look at all the danger. But at first blush, everything looks good. Capacitors seem healthy. We've even got a few name brands in here, so probably a decent enough quality power supply. Let's get that fan out and eliminate the dust. And luckily that fan connector is removable. Kind of wedged in there. Made by Avant-Garde. That's a funny name for a fan company. Best quality DC fan. It proudly proclaims. See what that bearing's like. It's good enough. Good enough to clean. Okay, well, let's see what our best quality DC fan can do. Sound like crap, that's what it can do. It's not even that the bearings are dirty, they sound loose. And just overall, quite a noisy thing. Moves enough air, although for the amount of noise it's making, I'd expect it to be moving more air. Oh well, it is what it is. And I'll clean the rest of this thing out since I'm here. Oh, and it's so kind of them to warn us of this on the inside of the power supply cover. You're telling me I could have gotten shocked in here? But yeah, it actually makes a good point. A lot of the times the heat sinks are hot in these, which is even more reason to be careful. Alright, well, let's see what it can do, if anything. Hey, it does it. And that fan sounds even more terrible now that it's installed. And you know, I could kind of forgive that if it were the only fan in this system, but it's not. It has help from the intake fan. Yeah, it's a candidate for upgrading. Anyways, voltages look good, so I'll just let it run for 5 minutes or so, as always. And also, as always, nothing happened. Power supply runs fine. And there's the other fan. And it looks like it's the same avant-garde, ultra best quality superfan, so I wonder if it's similarly noisy. And we've just got a couple squeezy tabs here. That removes it. Ooh. It's even more dusty than the power supply fan. And the sound's just as bad. Except this one has dust caked up on the blades. Look at that. Let's clean it up. Let's see what it do. Okay, well this one is much quieter. So what's up with that? It encountered more dust, yet runs so much better. Yeah, sure, they may have best quality, but they definitely don't have best consistency. More like avant garbage. Alright, you've seen and heard enough of the vacuum. I would just like to make you aware that this case has been thoroughly dedusted. That means we're ready to go back together. So let's jump right to testing. And, ooh, we got power. Drive made a funny sound. Now we're posting. Oh, something sounds extra horrible. What is that? I think it's a power supply fan. I think we're probably gonna have to go back into that and put a good one in there. Yeah, it's definitely a power supply fan. Yeah, we better stop and do that because that's gonna annoy me endlessly. So let's take care of that right now. Oh, that thing's just awful. Yeah, I ain't taking this thing all the way back apart. Screw that. This case provides plenty of access. Here, you know what? We'll give it a chance and oil the bearing. If it's oilable, then surely the best quality DC fan must be serviceable. Oh, of course. It's got one of those plugs. Didn't do much good here, did it? Let's just put a drop or two. I thought the surface tension just keeps it on that little washer. All right, let's run it. You know, I don't think it's a bearing problem. It sounds just unbalanced. Like it's in there vibrating. Especially when it's up against something resonant like the wood. Yeah, there's definitely a balance problem. Look at this. It's walking all over the place. I don't know. I'll put it back in there and see if it sounds any better. Let's just seal that up on the off chance that I'm keeping it. All right, are you better? Let's see. Oh, actually, much better. Yeah, actually sounds normal now. And so is that hard drive. Well, let's turn this thing back off for now. Don't want to be bumping around an exposed power supply. Okay, let's try again and see if I've angered the BIOS. I mean, I better get in this setup and fix the date. At least the date. Okay, cool. It's going to force me to do that anyway. Let's go. Let's go. Why is it not responding to me? Keyboard is definitely on. Well, this isn't good. I've never known a BIOS to freeze. Huh. Let's try rebooting. Let's see. Definitely detects me pushing the F1 key there. Okay. F1. Nothing. Escape. Okay. Well, that makes the cursor go away at least. Something's not right here. Let's just reboot it. Well, you know what? Let's just see if it boots. Hit escape. Ah, it does indeed. I wonder what's up with that. It won't go into the setup utility. Yeah, I got a CD-ROM driver. I wonder if that heat was too much for the RTC module. Oh no, it looks like we're in setup. No, maybe not. I guess I just kept that background. Huh. Alright, first thing, let's set that date and time, or at least just the date. Although, any timestamp changes will be very obvious. We already know we can't type dates or years in Win9X for some reason, so I gotta do this. Ah! Slipped off. There we go. It's Thanksgiving Eve. You know what? I'll set the time too, just to see if it keeps time. Let's see, what is it? 10 something. Let's hit that. All right, let's explore. What is Dramatica WDK? That sounds dramatic. What in the... It's like a story writing software? Let's call up an existing story. Death.dsf. Oh, okay. That's not... Death Among the Cicadas. What? Oh, we are right into some interesting stuff here, aren't we? How do we actually view the story? Let's see, what's character list? Alright, there's some characters, I guess. Okay. Query system, what the... I guess this is like their help thing? I don't know, this is getting kind of in the weeds. Well, let's look at the story engine, I guess, why not? Dramatica. Huh, well, this is interesting. For a story writing person, I guess. Which I am not. I'm very much an off-the-cuff person. I don't even script these videos. What is the download? The downloader for Windows. Sounds sketchy. What have we downloaded? Security name? What? So it's like a trading type thing? Let's see, May Corn. Guessing corn futures? Oh yeah, I guess so. What was this? Was this used by a farmer or something? I wonder if they were actually using this or if this is like some example data. Huh. Never know what you're gonna find on here. What is Metastock for Windows? Oh, it's a stock analysis tool. Huh. Opening the same securities. Let's see, do we get some charts? Yeah, we do. Look at that. These are open, high, low, close bars. Well, we don't get the option for candlesticks? I'm more of a candlestick guy. Man, I guess not. Okay, so they were traders, whoever owned this system. Well, let's see. What else is on here? Holy wow. What isn't on here? What is this, Adam? The inside story. What? I don't think any previous system before has ever made me go, what? So much? Well, let's look at this. What is this? That looks like broccoli. Are these broccoli futures? Oh, I don't have an Adam CD. Oh well. Casino Master. Yeah, they were definitely traders. What is Aldus? Aldus? Aldus PageMaker. Is that some kind of like website building tool? WYSIWYG? Maybe. Here's some PageMaker files. There's a, oh, it needs a PostScript driver. Okay, go on. Okay, so I guess it's like their calibration tool. Get all this stuff out of the way. You knew. Huh, this thing has got some very unusual software on it. That's a pointless scroll bar, look at this. Okay, well, whatever this is. I didn't change anything. Nope. Continuing. See what old Broderbund had on here. James explores math. You know, I've been meaning to learn math. Let's go. Aww. Now I'll never learn long division. Campus MCI. Is this from a University? I don't see any signs of university use, other than the weird software. Let's see, what did Disney have on here? Lion King Activity Center. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I know it's gonna ask for a CD, but man, I really wanna see this Toy Story animated storybook. We're gonna try. Yeah, that kills me. Anyways, carrying on. This was the require a CD era. Entertainment pack for PB, Packard Bell. They really lumped in Minesweeper and Solitaire in there. Packard Bell was really reaching. It was Equus International. No, that's that Metastock thing. Explore America. I'd rather not these days, but here, we'll see what it is. Even America requires a CD. Okay, give up. Let's see, what did Hasbro have on here? And System Analyzer, what? I guess for game performance? It's probably on a CD somewhere. Okay, no, it was on a network drive apparently. That's strange. Anyways. What is hospital? Hospital. That's very descriptive. Yeah, it was on some network share anyway. ICOM browser, does that require a CD? Welcome to ICOM by Talent Communications. What? This is an unregistered copy with limited features and times of usage. Okay, let's go. Tell me what it is. Okay, it's a browser. Yeah, I've never heard of this browser before. ICOM. Hot site. What's the hot site? I guess that was a version of bookmarks. No, I didn't even remotely recognize this browser. I wonder what engine it uses. Apparently it never went anywhere, but it had Alta Vista. Let's click here. Yeah, I don't know where you're downloading the HTML file from. Let's see what else is on this page. It's a wall of links. Well, anyway, that's mildly interesting. That one is advertising again. Okay. And it crashed. I guess it was a predecessor to Internet Explorer. There's just so much to see on here. It's Knowledge Adventure. 3D Body that apparently requires CD-ROMs. Logitech Entertainment? I guess they have some kind of like game controller on here? I mean, there's enough games. Oh yeah, it's a little setup program for a joystick. Oh, that's cool. It's got a bunch of presets. Well, I don't have that joystick, so continuing. What did LucasArts have on here? X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, which definitely requires a CD, so I'm not even going to try. Oh, what did Maxis has? Is that SimCity? Yes, it is. SimCity 3000. You know, I don't recall that requiring a CD. Ah, but it's somewhere elsewhere. Ugh. I guess there was another drive on this thing at some point. No, I guess they just deleted it. The one game that might have run. Ugh. Let's see, what did Packard Bell have? A bunch of Packard Bell tools. Oh, what is Kid Space? Let's see if it requires a CD. Everything else seems to. What? Okay, that is terrifying.
Hello and welcome to Kid Space. This is the fun place to work and play.
Help me.
Keep your software in the bookcase. Put all your games and stuff on the shelves.
I am
The
so
bottom drawer
scared
lets Mom
right now.
and Dad organize the room. To start your software, drag things from the shelves to where I'm standing.
Okay.
Keep all your files and letters in the dresser drawers. Watch out for things flying around. Now, if you need more help, click on the big question mark with the mouse. Have fun!
Those sounds, those are terrible sounds. Okay, so this is like a child's Microsoft Bob fever dream. I see MS Paint there. Let's see what happens if I drag it to the workspace. Nothing? Isn't that what that little clown zombie thing said to do? Oh wait, here we go. Never seen MS Paint take so long to open. What? Wait. And you can't even, it's like interfering with my mouse. Huh, interesting. So it's just a program launcher designed to terrify children. This truly was the golden age. How do I get out of here? Is it this thing? Oh crap, what am I doing now? Oh yeah, I've done it now. Ended the world and everything. Okay. We've got to get out of here. Ooh. The sounds! This thing has some horrible sounds. I don't even want to click that again. Alright, I guess this takes me back to Windows, right? Yes, go away. Alright, need a moment to recover from that. Physicians Online Network. Somebody had some doctor aspirations here. I'm guessing that Physicians Online Network is probably no longer online. Let's see, Power Investor for Windows. Let's see if we find some pets.com shares in there. No, we're not finding any shares. Oh well, can't even invest without CDs. What is Reading Blaster? That's a pretty funny name for anything. Let's make sure it requires a CD. And it does! Oh no, it's just somewhere else. Huh. Story of this system. What did they have from StarCraft? Okay, guess it's just StarCraft. It's probably gone. Yeah, like everything else. What happened here? Yeah, go away. What about the Learning Company? Interactive Math Journey. Yeah, I've already been burned once on that. Alright, let's see if we can get some dates. Last used date. Wait, there's a CD in there? Hold on. You're telling me that thing works? Yeah, it sure does. Oh, it's the one game I didn't try. Well, let's check that out, why not? I guess this is what they were using the joystick for. Yeah, something tells me we're not the right color depth. It looks terrible. Can't even barely make out what that is. Yeah, we got some problems. This thing's in psychedelic mode. Totally games. It's running at a terrible frame rate. Is this the way this game just looks? Oh hi, this is Mike from the editing department. I had to mute the audio here because apparently this music gets you a copyright strike. Yeah, it's just a Star Wars intro music. You've all heard it before. Alright, let's see, can we continue? Oh yeah, they were using the joystick, of course. Well, you can't even play this game without a joystick? Well, that's wild. Okay, so I guess that's why it decided to freeze? Aw. I finally find a game installed on one of these systems that has a CD, but it requires a joystick. You just can't make this up. Anyways, why is there a D drive? Do we have a drive space thing going on here? No, I guess it's just two partitions. That's 990 megabytes. Yeah, they just cut the hard drive in half. This is where all that data's hiding? Okay, apparently that's no data's hiding. Oh, I could have guessed that by the free space, right? Alright, let's get in that C drive. Let's view details. Let's see, we're up to 2,000. Sort this. HE Games. Whatever that is. Let's see, what's in downloads? Scooby.jpg. Can guess what that is. Send a web card. Oh, I love that. Let's see, iExplorer as an Internet Explorer? Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe. You know, I'm still not sure. Let's open it up. Oh yeah, it's Internet Explorer for sure. And you may not be my default browser. Wow, this is an ancient version of Internet Explorer. I didn't even recognize that icon. For Windows 3.1, wow, this is a relic. Let's see, were there any favorites? No Beanie Baby value trackers? Let's see, what date was this installed? 1996, but used up to the year 2000. Let's see. Global history A. That looks pretty empty. Yeah, indeed empty. Guess that was the last time they cleared their history. I just can't get over how much stuff is on here. Look at this. Let's go look for any documents. Or at least see how old those desktop shortcuts are. (2001). All right, that's the newest date stamp yet. You see, there are documents on here, though nothing too telling. You might have to settle for a 2001 as the latest. Ooh, go away. We'll see what's the newest thing in the Windows directory. 99. All right, 2001 it is. Oh, I see somebody was doing something with drive space. Oh, it went in screensaver mode. Ben's computer. Don't touch. Classic. Classic Ben. Anyways, let's test that floppy drive. Since we already know the CD drive works. And it appears to work. Though it's rather slow. It's just how these things are. Let's give it a workout. Copy all this stuff off into this recycled folder. What is even in there? Why is there a recycled folder? Well, seems like an appropriate place. And it is indeed copying. And it sounds healthy enough. And we have success. Fantastic. Now let's go down to DOS and scan the hard drive. And I'm going to also have to scan D drive too. Oh, you know, I didn't think to look in the Internet Explorer cache. Seems to be a lot in there. That's definitely worth exploring. Yeah, very untidy drive. Somebody wasn't fond of defragging. Well, it's looking like at least that partition is good. Well, that's good for drive C. How about D? Yeah, it goes pretty fast when it's empty. Alright, looks like D is clean also. And here's that internet cache. And boy, there's a lot of it. Over 2,300 objects. And it looks like it's all from the late 90s. Let's see. I got some Disney sites, old MSN, and old Amazon from 1998. Let's see, what kind of file even is that? See the original URL. Oh, it's going to be crazy long, isn't it? Okay, well, we don't know what that is. I don't guess we can even open any of these. Let's try this GIF. Yeah, because Windows 95 stores internet cache in a weird way. I think these are actually database entries, and I'm not immediately sure where the actual files are. They gotta be on here somewhere. So I wonder if it's worth preserving old internet cache. I mean, it is a point in time of the old internet. Let's see, what's the oldest we have here? Last accessed, 1997. Seems like they did a lot of research on car values. Saw KBB and a bunch of other things. Wow, old Excite search. Let's see, what were they searching for? Was that in the URL? US Air? I guess they like to fly. And come to think of it, there was a cache folder in that Internet Explorer directory, wasn't there? I thought there was. Oh yeah, there it is. What's in there? Yeah, and there's cache. Let's see what this JPEG is of. Could not draw this picture. Some weird format. So I'm definitely not low on memory. I wonder if Internet Explorer itself can open it. Let's see, we don't even get open with here, do we? Nah, I have to change the file type association. Let's actually open Internet Explorer. Wants to be the default browser so bad. Stop performing this check. Yeah, we know there's no internet. Let's see, actually, let's try open one of those GIFs. Oh, it's a GIF. City.net. Although it's not an animated GIF, although that was not the default use for GIFs back then. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there. Look at all these. Maybe we can open these HTML files. I guess not. Didn't even try to open it. Huh, interesting. Well, let's try pointing to one of those JPEGs. This JPEG, why not? Copy that. Paste that. Yep, IE opens it. Yeah, I wonder if old internet cache is worth archiving. Let me know what you think. So I imagine if I found some popular website that was not archived previously, that could be pretty valuable. But there's one last thing I want to check on this computer. See if I can get into BIOS setup now. Because obviously the RTC is fine. It's keeping time perfectly. Alright, F1. Yeah, F1. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so what was the deal with that initial stubbornness? I wonder if there was some kind of bug in this version of the BIOS. We may never know, kids. Alright, well, let's get out of here. Exit discarding changes. Yes. It's gonna boot back to Windows. I wasn't quick enough on the power button. Love how they kept the Windows 3.1 sound scheme. Must have been an upgrade. Let's see, what is this thing down here? I have bills due. Oh no. What even is this? Microsoft Money Payment Reminder. Calculated service charge for what? And you know, I better not get into this. I'm gonna reveal sensitive information and everything. I'm gonna spend 5 hours blurring stuff out. Let's root through some more internet files. Oh no, where do they all go? Didn't clear the cache, did it? I know I didn't. Hold on, what's going on here? This is some kind of Explorer shenanigans, isn't it? Okay, there they are. Let's sort by descending order. See how what the newest one is. Uh-oh, some of these don't have any. Oh wait, we want to look at last accessed. 2000. And these appear to be cookies with somebody's name in them. Wow, they really were into cars. Got Mercedes, Toyota, saw Volvo. Did this belong to a car dealer? And more car stuff. It's all cars and vacations. The life of a dot-com bubble investor. Wow, Lycos. Haven't heard that in a very long time. And Alta Vista. This thing is a time capsule. Anyways, let's shut this thing down. Ah, classic AT. Alright, time for the cleanup operation. It's not very dirty, but it does have this biohazardous looking scuzz all over it. So we'll start with the old Windex and paper towel routine. Alright, it is coming off. Actually, some of this could probably benefit from soaking. Yeah, that does help. Alright, we do have some plastic damage on this thing. So a pretty deep scratch here. Maybe I can at least just clean the inside of the scratch. Make it less visible. Yeah, that worked. There's just a little bit of staining left. I wonder if the magic eraser can handle that. And we got a fresh new one with a little bit of Windex on it. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, these things never cease to amaze me. Ew, you know, this might actually be some kind of like nicotine glaze. Alright, that's as clean as that's getting. Not too bad. We just have some mysterious staining still remaining, but what do you want? The thing's over 30 years old. Which brings me to an interesting point. I think we thoroughly busted the myth that Packard Bells are somehow cheap and inferior. Maybe it's survivorship bias, but these seem like the best surviving systems that I work on. They certainly had a bit of a reputation back in the day. Or maybe all the bad ones have just died off, and we're left with the ones that made it. Anyway, huge thanks to all the patrons and channel supporters for their continued vote of confidence. If you'd like to join this list, that would be utterly amazing. Patrons get ad-free pre-release videos, as well as access to hardware sales when I finally decide to sell stuff. And you also help keep this very capital-intensive show going. Oh, and the credit is optional. You don't have to have your name here. If you don't want it listed, just send me a message. Anyways, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching.